Once again, we're here in the kitchen with Raw Chef Jane, one of our most fun times of the month. Got very colorful. Got your Science Hill colors on. Either Science Hill or Florida State. Now,
whichever you
college
like.
or high school, she's got those colors on today. But you're always so bright and cheerful.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness. Thank you so much. Well, no time for lollygagging.
Okay, no lollygagging.
No
today.
lollygagging.
We're talking about soup.
I'm making a nice hearty
Yes.
soup. Now, you know, this time of year, I always feel that we need to have something a little warm sometimes.
Right.
Because the weather starts to get cooler in the mornings. It's like downright chilly. And, you know, the temperatures are changing.
Yep.
It's fall-ish.
Right.
You know, and this is a really nice soup. I'm using carrots in this, but you could use a butternut squash.
Okay.
You could use sweet potatoes. You could use any vegetable that's orange. Okay, the reason that I don't use butternut squash usually is because it's just my husband and myself. And unless I get a butternut squash that's this
It's
big.
hard to find them that small, yeah.
Yeah, and it is hard to find them that small.
Mm-hmm.
I have too much left over and I have nothing that I can do with it, and usually it goes bad and I have to put it in the compost pile. So rather than doing that, I use carrots.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I use carrots, and you'll see me doing that a lot with soups. And that actually is the only reason why. It's hard to find a small sweet potato as well, because again, I would only be using like half of a sweet potato. And it's hard to find them.
And waste not, want not.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to find them the size that I need. So now I've started with 2 cups of water in my blender. I've put my cumin in there. I've put my peppercorns in there. I'm using my 5 peppercorn pepper blend. And I put my salt in there, okay? I harvested yesterday from our garden ginger.
Fresh ginger.
Yeah, fresh ginger. I have a few leaves of stevia that I also harvested from the garden.
A little sweetness.
Yeah, this is also our garlic. I'm putting a clove
Okay.
of that in. My little knuckle of ginger. This is a Vidalia onion from our garden that I'm also putting in here.
You're about to get me there.
Did I? I'm sorry. I'm not watching what I'm doing.
You're okay.
I have half
You're
a
excited.
lemon here, and I've taken off the skin from that.
Okay. No, you did get me there. That's okay. That's okay.
Oopsie.
It's all good. It's all goodness in here. So.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, Chris.
You're all right. You're excited.
And I'm putting
You're
in.
excited for the soup.
I am, because this is actually the first fall soup I've made this year.
Oh,
so,
good.
you know, this is really nice. I'm putting some up. I used 1 stalk of celery. Now, if you don't like an ingredient, say you don't like celery, like Chris and I were just talking
my
about
wife
that.
does not
and his
like
wife
celery.
Tammy does
Yes.
not like celery. So don't put it in there.
I love celery.
Okay,
I'll
if
eat
you-
celery all day.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it tastes good when it's in here, it's blended up, and you
Yeah.
really don't have the texture and the flavor. Because a lot of times when we don't like a food, it's often the texture of a food, not necessarily the flavor of the food. Okay, but also if it is the flavor, remember that you have a lot of other flavors going on in here. Okay, and I have a cup, a little over a cup, I think, of coconut, and then I have a cup of cashews. So this is going to be a hearty, creamy soup. And I think I'm going to have to put probably
Just
a
a
little
little
bit
water in
more
there?
of water in
Okay.
there. Probably
kinda
another half
eyeball
cup.
it there?
You
Yeah.
can always add, but remember, don't add too much because you can't take it out once you put it in there. That's the problem. So it was better to have less and to add a little bit at a time than it is to have too much and say, uh-oh, what do I do now?
Now, does the dill go in here now, or do
Now
you just put that
I'm
on
going
top?
to top this, and when we serve it, I'm going to serve it with some fresh dill that I picked from my garden. I still have some dill stevia,
Okay.
and I had the ginger. I took a picture of it yesterday. It's really cute. And I'm going to top it with black sesame seeds and fresh dill. So that's going to be it, and we're going to put this into the blender and blend it up and then eat it.
All right, it's going to be. We're going to crank this thing up here in just a little bit. Jane, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Getting us ready for a little cooler weather with some soup this morning. It is Raw Chef Jane. If you want to find out more, we got some information for you right there. RawChefJane.com is her website. She has plenty of books and everything on there, plenty of recipes. She would love for you to check it out. She's all over social media as well.